Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about AI, also known as artificial intelligence. More specifically, we're going to be talking about AI on Roblox, programming with it. Um, like, is it actually useful? Can you use AI to make a Roblox game? Because like AI, one specific thing is like AI might give you code that works, but it might not necessarily be the right way to do it. Because you can do things in so many different ways, but there's specific ways to do it where it's the best for performance, where there's no memory leaks, where you're not leaving a back door, like where it's not exploitable easily. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm trying to figure out today. Is AI reliable? And I have these 5 prompts. I know there's 6 bullet points technically, but these are kind of together. But I have these 5 prompts that we're gonna feed to ChatGPT today. I could use other AI models, but we're just using ChatGPT for this one. And we're gonna see how it goes. And they kind of get more complex with each one. I tried to kind of do that. But yeah, so let's start with the first one. So here we are on ChatGPT. We're using temporary chat, of course, so that there's no like history or anything. It's not using ChatGPT's memory, all that. Um, and this one is very simple. Just write me a script for Roblox that changes the color of a part when I click it. And maybe make the color random. Changes the color of a part to a random color whenever a player clicks it. Okay, that's a better prompt. Sorry. So if we just send this should be very simple. It shouldn't take long. So here we go. Sure, here's a simple Roblox script written in Lua that changes the color of a part to a random color whenever a player clicks on it. This script should be placed inside a part in the workspace. Okay. First thing I would say is generally, for me at least, I try to keep scripts out of the workspace, and keep all my stuff within like, server script service, modules maybe in replicated storage. If it's on the client, obviously in starter player scripts, starter character scripts, right? I try to keep scripts out of the workspace, so I don't know how I feel about that necessarily, but it's not the worst thing. But we will, try it out. And I'm not even gonna like review it yet. We're just gonna put it in, see if it does what I want it to do. So alright, we go here. It wanted us to put a part in our game in the workspace, put a click detector in, and put a script, not a local script, into the part and paste the code. And now let's just test it, right? Let's just see if it does exactly what we wanted it to do without even looking at the code right now. So we go over here, click it, and it is doing what we wanted it to do. We're just clicking it, changing the color randomly. Cool. So now we get to the code. How is it? What would I do differently? I mean, there's not much you can do differently with this. Like, it's a very simple script, and there's not really anything I would do. I think you're maybe doing too much with these functions. Like if I was gonna write this, it's so simple that I would probably just do script.parent.click detector mouse click connect function, and then part.color equals color3.new, and then the math.randoms, right? Which we do here. And I mean, it's essentially the same thing, just with way less lines of code. I also think this warn was like, I mean, I guess if you're like a beginner programmer, it's nice to have these warns to know like what you're doing wrong, but it's not really necessary. Especially because if you just keep this like outside of here, right? And there's not a click detector, you're gonna get an error anyways. So you're gonna know that there's not a click detector there. So I don't know. All in all, like it works for the first prompt. Maybe doing a little too much. But it works. There's not really any complaints. Like you're not gonna run into any problems. So I'd give this one a check. There you go. I gave it a little check mark emoji. That one passes. So now we go to the second prompt. See how this one does. So of course we want no history, so I'm just gonna start a new thing, still temporary chat, and just post the next prompt. Write me a script for Roblox that resizes UI strokes based on the player's screen size. And I'll explain why I would want this, why someone would want this for their game in a second. So here's a Roblox Lua script that dynamically resizes UI stroke thickness based on the player's screen size. This script can be placed in a local script, ideally under starter player scripts or directly in a GUI that contains UI elements with UI stroke instances. Okay, cool. So first off, let me explain why you would want this, right? Let's just make a quick UI here, right? Just like a little thing like this. And then if we put a UI stroke in here, actually, basically what you're gonna see is when we resize the screen, you'll notice kind of the smaller it gets, or the bigger it gets. I guess you can't really see it right here. If we go here, actually, device, notice how when you're on phone, the UI stroke is thicker, right? Because the screen size is smaller, and it's not relative to the screen size. If we go to Xbox One, right, this is a way bigger screen. Of course, it's thinner and stuff. So, this could potentially be an issue. UI strokes aren't the way you want it to be. So you want like some kind of code that automatically resizes the UI stroke based on the screen size. And that's what we're asking ChatGPT to do. So this is what it gave it to us, which we'll copy before we even really review it. And it said to put it under starter player scripts or directly in a GUI that contains UI elements with UI stroke instances. It says in starter player scripts, which is kind of nice, Sometimes you keep stuff there. Does it want us to do anything, right? Change this to match the screen size you designed your UI for. So what's the current screen size? 1623 854. 1623 854. And I check that by going to screen GUI and then absolute size. That gives you the current size of the screen. You can see actually if I resize it, see the width is getting smaller and bigger. So yeah, that's what we're gonna go with. Multiply for how much stroke should scale with the resolution. Okay, that's interesting because the thickness might be different. Like if you have two different frames, of course, right? One of them, the stroke might be significantly bigger, whatever. It might not be the same for everything. So that's interesting that it assumes that every stroke is going to be the same. That is very, very interesting. I don't know why it wouldn't like just get the strokes for us. But either way, whatever. Okay, so I think if we test this, whatever. Let's just see what happens. Oh, look at that. We have our first error. We go here, viewport size is not a valid property name. And that is line 50. And you know why that is? Because if you do run service.viewport size, this isn't a thing. Viewport size is not a thing in a run service. I don't know why it thinks it is, but it's not. So here's it giving us an error. So actually what we're going to do is copy this, go back to ChatGPT, and just give it the error. And let's see what it does. So it gave us the updated version, obviously. We also need the camera. We'll just copy the whole code actually, and then go back and replace it. And now let's see what happens. And even what we'll do, we'll actually print out, updating UI strokes, and then we'll go again. Okay, updating UI strokes. Interesting. See, now that's an issue. It's not even doing it properly the way I want it. So you can see, obviously, the UI is like staying the same size. The UI is not getting smaller, so it doesn't detect that. So that's kind of another thing it's doing wrong. It's just, this is one of the biggest things. AI doesn't understand context, right? Which is a big issue. And even like regardless, it literally gave us a broken script. It thought viewport size was under run service. And for that, I'm gonna have to give this one a fail. Plus, it didn't even really do what we wanted it to do. So, okay, the red, it's a red X. It's not a gray check. It's not like a gray check mark. But either way, it's a big fat X. On that one, I'm counting that as a fail. And now for the next one. We have, write me a script for Roblox that changes the time based on the player's real life time. And by time, of course, I'm talking about the lighting time. So like if you go here, clock time, 24, whatever, 1, 12, you can change the time, of course. And so that's what I want to happen. I want, based on the player's real life time, for the in-game time to change. And we'll see how ChatGPT does with this one. So again, temporary chat, and here we go. Sure, here's a Roblox script that changes the in-game time of day to match the player's real-life local time based on their device clock. This should go in a local script since it relies on the client's time. Okay, I'm already seeing one issue I kind of have with it. Actually, a couple issues. But we'll just put this in and see how it does. So here we go. Make a local script. Okay, it did tell us starter player scripts. Ooh, wait, that's interesting. Starter player scripts or starter character scripts. I don't like that. This is a script that doesn't go in starter character scripts. Starter character scripts are obviously things like for your character. Things that will like be kind of reset when the character respawns. But something like this doesn't need to go in starter character scripts. It should go in starter player scripts. So this is another issue telling you to put it in either or. You shouldn't put it in either or. Anyways, back here, we'll just test it. We'll see how it goes. It should be nighttime. It is currently 11:29 p.m. for me. And there you have it. Okay. Is it changing actively? Well, obviously not. It's at 23.5 right now. I mean, that is accurate. It is 11:30, which is 23.5. So that's a success for it working. I'll tell you that. However, now we go to the code, and I already see two potential issues. At least one major issue, which is wait. If you know anything, you always use task.wait now, never wait. And the reason for this is basically it's just faster. There's a video that someone made comparing task.wait and wait. I'll probably link it down below if I remember to. Sorry if I don't, but I'll try to remember to link it. But task.wait is just slightly faster. So like you should always use task.wait. And also I typically try to avoid using while true do loops. Yeah, I don't know. I don't love it. I can't really like it worked, but the code wasn't the best that it could be. And another thing, I probably wouldn't use os.date anymore. There's something called datetime.now. There's actually from local time. Datetime.now. Oh yeah, here we go. To local time. Okay, datetime.now to local time. And you can get like how we have here, hour, minute, whatever. You can get all this, right? So I would actually use this instead of os.date. It's more recent, I believe. We can actually make a little thing here. dtime.hour, dtime.minute. And now if we test this, I believe it should work. Yeah, there you go. We can actually check the clock time. You see 23.533. I mean, the code works. It just isn't the best practice. With the wait thing and the os.date thing instead of date time, yeah, whatever. I think I'm going to have to give this an X because of that. Because it's not the best practice. And that's one of the biggest issues I see with AI. Like, yeah, it might give you working code. Except for this, right? It even gave us broken code. But like even if you like give it the error and it fixes it, it still might not be the best code every time, right? And that was the case with this. Now it's time to move on to one of the final two, which is using Profile Store, which is a open source module which I'm going to add to the game and we're going to use for saving data. Write me a script for Roblox that creates a cash currency for each player that I can update whenever I need. Now, write a script that updates that currency whenever a player touches a cash part in the workspace. These are like two separate, but they're both going to be like part of the same system. So I'm going to ask it the first prompt. We're going to see how that does. And then I'm going to ask it the second prompt. So here we go. Sure, here's a basic Roblox script using profile service. Okay, first issue. If you don't know, profile service is a data store module. We'll actually pull it up. Here, you can see here. So this is, as you can see, the successor to profile service. Profile service is a data store module, right? For saving data, and it's really really good. A lot of big games use it. It's very very useful and stuff and whatever. Um, but as you can see, right, profile service is stable but no longer supported. Use profile store for new projects. And that's the thing, right? I was trying to have it use profile store, but as we saw, it doesn't even know profile store exists apparently, or something. See if we go here, that's why I like stopped in my tracks when I was reading this, like script using profile service. No, I clearly said using profile store. Then it gives us the script and all that, but like I kind of want to tell it like I told you I wanted to use profile store, not profile service. Let's just see what it says to this. You're referring to profile store, the module made by build into games? No, 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 no. What's it giving us? No, no. What? Why did it take us here? Tool to like this isn't even what? Oh my gosh, this is so wrong. This is so wrong. First off, Profile Store isn't even made by Build Into Games. It's made by Lolaris, which is literally it says here with Profile Service. No, I don't even know what it's talking about. Like, no, this is so wrong. The code looks like it might be right. Okay, but not here. Up here, the code looks like it might be right, but like no, this is so wrong. I don't even need to like go further with this. It's just lying to me. It's wrong. Hold on. No, I meant profile service or profile store made by Lolaris. It's the successor to profile service. It's not made by build into games. What's it gonna say? It's thinking for a while. Apologies for the early confusion. Okay, it's giving us a GitHub repository. Oh my gosh. Okay, we finally got like the right thing, but it took a while. Um, and that's actually very, very frustrating. But anyways, we're gonna get this into Studio, see how it does. Okay, so here we are with the code in, and we have profile stored as a module here, right? Whatever. Um, we already have a problem. As you can see, there's an orange underline here, right? Key get store not found in table profile store module. That's because this isn't how you set up a profile or whatever, a store with profile store. You do dot new, not dot get store. So that's already an issue, and I'm already gonna fix that because I know it's not gonna work. Um, I suppose we could just test it and see what happens, see if the data even saves. Hold on, it's wanting us to use a remote event to update cache. Okay, that is exploitable. That's it's literally giving okay, so remote events, right? Obviously, like if you have a logo script on the client and you have a remote event. Let's create the remote event and I'll set this up and I'll explain why this is an issue. Okay, so here we have, the remote event update cache and replicated storage. And then here, update cache, get it, fire to the server. The issue is any exploiter can fire this remote event from their client, and right here, when it gets the event and gets the amount, it just adds it to the profile. Like this is really bad. This is really, really bad. Oh my gosh, this is bad. It seems like for the most part, I mean, I haven't really looked deep. It seems like for the most part, it's kind of knows what it's doing with Profile Store. I don't know. It might be even more wrong, but like this is just an instant X already. With up here having, when it had get store instead of dot new, down here it's literally advocating for something that's easily exploitable. Because again, any exploiter can call this event and then give themselves cache because this event, like, all it does is check if they have a profile, check if the amount is a number, and then add the cache. That is so bad. No, that's so bad. No, I don't even want to do this second part. This is already scuffed. Yeah, no. This is an X. That's an X. Straight up. But I guess we'll go to the final prompt. I doubt it's gonna really do anything good with this, but let's try it. So here we are. It's loading everything. Obviously, the prompt is using object-oriented programming, write an NPC system for Roblox, having the NPCs walk around like they're in a city with different clothes and accessories. Sure, here's a basic object-oriented. I'm glad it knows OOP is object-oriented. That's good. NPC system in Lua for Roblox, where NPCs walk around. Yeah, yeah. This version uses OOP principles with meta tables or class patterns. Okay. So here we have the code, obviously. So if we just copy this, and we have a lot, right? We have this, we have the manager, and we have the script setup. Okay. So I kind of want to go like step by step, right? I kind of want to start in here, and this handler that is the main script, whatever, handles everything. So we have an NPC manager, NPC template, which I'll have to add, I suppose. I could actually just add that now. Let's just make a rig really quick. I don't know if it's R15 or not, like what it's going off of. It doesn't seem like it really matters, like it's using anything specific. We'll just do R15 for now. Whatever. Yeah, we can just put this in server storage, name it NPC template. I'm not sure if on ChatGPT it said to do that. We can go here. Yeah, okay, model setup. A humanoid NPC model stored in server storage. And then we need spawn points. A folder of part instances in workspace representing city points. Okay, cool. Okay, whatever. Um, and call it spawn points. Okay, so the spawn points are set up now. So we got, the NPC template. We got the spawn points. Little points thing. What? Okay, this is stupid. So it's basically spawn folder get children is already returning a table of the spawn points. I don't know why it has to create a table. Like I don't know why it has a table here and it's inserting like you could this is the same exact thing as this. Spawn folder get children is the same exact thing as the points table based on what it's doing here. So like you could literally just send this spawn folder get children. I don't know why it's doing all this. That's just irrelevant. That's stupid. That's extra lines of code for no reason. That's extra memory for no reason. So I'm already going to remove that. That's already, knocking off a few points. But other than that, we're just gonna test it and see what happens. And we already have an error. It spawned an NPC, I can tell you that much. It spawned an NPC. Shirt is not a valid member of humanoid. Okay, so let's just give it the benefit of the doubt. Humanoid dot shirt and human. Okay, no, yeah, let's put it in the humanoid. Let's put them in the humanoid. Let's see what happens now. And we have another error. No, wait, I think I get it now. I'm pretty sure shirts and pants don't go in the humanoid. In fact, let me do my avatar. The shirt and pants are in the rig. They're not in the humanoid. But okay, you know what? No, no, no. We're gonna see if this works. We're gonna see if this works. I'm really, really doing a lot for this. Humanoid.shirt? No. Self.model.shirt. Whatever. Now let's try. Let's see what happens now. And we have another error. Shirt is not a valid member of model. but it is. There's a shirt in the motto. You know what? I give up. No, this is a lost cause. The AI messed this up too much, and that's it. That's it. This is a failure. It doesn't work. Literally from like the first script, there's three scripts in this system, and the first one there was something wrong. This is a mess. AI, I've come to the conclusion AI is not useful. Maybe for very minor things, like the first thing was good. It was still too long though. It was still like just excessive. It was doing too much, but it worked. But then everything else, every single other system is an X. Like 4 out of 5 systems did not do what I wanted it to do, or it just didn't do it properly. Like the third one, I think worked, but it didn't do it properly. Um, it used outdated functions, whatever. Like it's not good. Please, guys, until it gets way better, until it's significantly better, please don't use AI to code. Just learn to code at least. You can use it as an assistant, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna cause so many problems. Um, Sorry, this was a bit longer of a video than usual, but yeah, I don't know. This is stupid. I don't know. That's all from me. I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.